good for your... It's red for your unflavored.
Advanced Armament Company has been making silencers for a very long time, and they have produced some of the most iconic and prolific silencers ever made. But times are changing and nothing seems to be moving as fast as silencer technology. As reduced back pressure and increased flow rates become more important to the consumer, having a reduced back pressure can in the lineup is a very good move. When you look into getting a new suppressor, there are a lot of factors you should look at. Sound suppression is usually top of mind. Size and weight. Durability is always an important factor, especially when it comes to 5.56 cans. You want to be happy with the mounting options, and I personally like my 5.56 cans to be at least capable of shooting 6 arc, and what is becoming increasingly important is lower back pressure. AAC took their years of designing silencers and have developed their first reduced back pressure can, the Ranger 5 RBP, which literally stands for reduced back pressure. So why exactly is reducing back pressure important? Well, for several reasons. The most important being the health of the shooter. You see, traditional baffle cans do a couple of things well. They fairly efficiently reduce sound and they trap gas. Trapping those gases does reduce the sound of the weapon system, but eventually those gases must escape somewhere. Some of the gases go back down the rifle and escape through the ejection port, fairly close to the shooter's face, forcing you to breathe in rather toxic fumes from the gunpowder, carbon, and even small amounts of lead. Not only is this not good for you, the shooter, but it's also hard on your rifle. It increases wear and operating temperatures, lowering the service life of your gear and you. So it became the challenge to increase the flow rate of a suppressor, allowing gases to continue to move forward through the suppressor, yet still find a way to make the silencer quiet the rifle without trapping and constricting gases. Different companies do this in different ways, but the AAC is using something that they call the double helix gas system. This is actually very interesting. Looking in the back, they have a somewhat unique blast baffle with large vents. What you can't see is the external chamber on the perimeter that really helps to slow gases down. This cutaway does allow us to see that extra chamber. The baffles in the can also continuously vent to the external chamber, which can be seen easily on the thermal as the little hot dots in the middle of the can. The external chamber is also cut in a helix design, wrapping those gases around the exterior of the suppressor until they are released in the vents at the front of the can. This is actually a pretty radical design and very impressive. Some companies just poke some holes in the baffles and try to call it reduced back pressure. It's great to see such an innovative architecture from AAC. I kind of like to know how things are working, but what really is important is that they do work. And I would say that the Ranger 5 RBP does a really good job of reducing back pressure while also taming the sound of the rifle. In fact, it does such a good job that we shot this Patriot Ordnance Factory piston rifle, and the gun had to be switched to the unsuppressed setting for it to function properly. A true sign that the back pressure is really low.
All right, whenever you're ready. That's really not good. Smooth side up, right? That should be suppressed mode. I don't know, try another round.
No, it needs more gas.
And in the unsuppressed mode, the gun ran just fine. Having low back pressure is great, but it's also nice if the can sound good too. So I think it's time to let you hear it for yourselves. Hopefully it came through in the video, but the AAC Ranger 5 RBP just doesn't do a great job of reducing back pressure. It also does a very good job of taming the sound coming from the rifle. There are a lot of other factors that go into making a great can, and one of the most important, especially when it comes to 5.56 cans, is the durability, and the Ranger 5 delivers that in a really big way. The Ranger 5 RBP is 3D printed out of something called Haynes 282. This is a relatively new material in the silencer world that delivers some very appealing characteristics for a silencer. First off, it is extremely strong even under extreme heat, and it's far lighter than other hard-use metals used in silencers like Inconel and Stellite. I got thoroughly trashed on Instagram when I referred to it as strong as Inconel with weight nearly as light as titanium, and clearly that is wrong. So many people let me know. I think a better way to put it would be, now we have a material that can take hard use far greater than a steel can while delivering weights close to a steel can. Haynes 282 seems to be what we've all been waiting for in the silencer industry. Something that can have the capabilities of hard use without feeling like you have a brick at the end of your rifle. In fact, Haynes 282 is what the afterburners on the F-35 jet are made out of. I'll be very excited to see this alloy applied in more silencers in the future. Some other great features that the Ranger 5 RBP has is it is hub compatible, so it can take on basically any mounting system you like to use. Another big thing for me, and I think a lot of shooters out there, is that it is 6-arc capable. 6-arc is a cool round that I like to shoot pretty often, and I really like my 5.56 cans to be able to take it on without any issues. Another cool thing is the size. Most reduced back pressure cans that feature a complicated inner geometry like the Ranger 5 RBP does have wider diameters, but the Ranger is only 1.5 inches in diameter, which gives it a more classic slender profile. It's also only 5.8 inches long and weighs in at only 13.2 ounces, which is great for a hard use capable can, and that weight is made possible by the Haynes 282 that we talked about a minute ago. It's really kind of hard to find any downsides with the Ranger 5 RBP. AAC has delivered a can that sounds good, has far lower back pressure than a typical baffle can, is rated for hard use, and delivers all that at a reasonable price. You could get a can that performs better in any one of those categories, but you're going to pay more, and most of the time significantly more, for that can. The Ranger 5 is a great all-round can that also packs great value for the consumer, especially when you also add in features like hub compatibility, along with the ability to shoot 6-arc and other 6mm cartridges through it. This really makes for a feature-packed, versatile can that you might want to consider if you're in the market for a new 5.56 silencer. Thank you guys so much for watching. A huge thank you goes out to Optics Planet for helping us out with some of the optics used on some of the guns in the video. If you guys are getting anything at Optics Planet, use the code ARSENAL. You'll save some money and it'll help the channel out at the same time. If you get the chance, go by and check out alabamaarsenal.com. Over there, we have in-depth articles on a lot of the stuff that we've reviewed, just a deeper dive, and you get early access to videos with much more. So go check out alabamaarsenal.com. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because as always, we have some really big reviews in the works that you won't want to miss. If you want to know what those reviews are way before they hit the YouTube channel, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, where you can see what's being reviewed in real time. If you want to help support Alabama Arsenal, the absolute best way to do that is through Patreon. These videos can be surprisingly expensive to make, and every little bit helps and is greatly appreciated. There's also Alabama Arsenal gear available right below the video if you want to go out and represent. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.